Tim Shive here with Real Broker in Des Moines, Iowa, and I'm here with Jeff Claman Custom Homes. How you doing?
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
When someone calls you to build a home, what do you think they're trying to achieve in their life?
Well, that's an absolute great question because sometimes I think people have different agendas. So I try to dig deep into their question of when they want to build a home, everybody's priorities different because if they're calling us, they want to more customized and they're probably not happy with, maybe not happy, but their search where they've looked, they're not finding everything they want. So what my goal is, I feel like they want to customize what they're looking for. So, or they just didn't find what they want. So I feel like everybody's agenda is a little different. It's our job or my job to really dig in deep to what they're really wanting so we can identify the issues, problems, concerns, wants, needs, and fulfill those needs as a builder to a client.
Everybody's different. If they're asking you to build them a custom home, it is like that's the main thing you need to do is figure out exactly what they want to accomplish so that you can actually give them what they want.
Exactly.
And sometimes they don't even know.
And that probably happens 80-90% of the time. They know bits and pieces, but I believe we dig in deep and pull that out of them. How they, like I go really deep. How do they live? Like when you walk in the door, what's your steps? Like where are you going? What you doing? Like, some families have a lot of kids. Other people are retiring and they want to downsize, but they still want certain amenities. It is, I believe that's what's drove the custom market so hard because you can't find that house, that perfect house for everybody. And I still believe this, there is no perfect home. You're going to live in one and you're going to go, well, there's a few things I would have changed. And it happens all the time. But like I told it's a success for us as a team is if we can hit 8 out of 10, then we're hitting the mark.
Yeah, absolutely. So what does a custom home actually mean to you? And what do you think it means to the actual client?
So growing up, I always had this passion for home building. And I always felt like custom meant so high end nobody could afford it, and it was unobtainable to me as an individual or anybody. So as a builder, I've always grew up going, I want to make custom obtainable for anybody because I think the illusion is custom can't be had by just anybody. And I believe that statement is totally false. I believe individuals can come in and get a custom home. Does it cost more? Yeah, it costs maybe a little more, but does it really cost more if you're achieving what you want out of a home that you spend 60% of your time in? What's that worth for that value? To spend a little more money to get the livability, the functionality, the wants and needs of how you live. What's that worth to a person to spend an extra $100 a month that could make that big difference in you and the way you live every day?
So when you customize a home, you probably aren't going to regret it.
You're absolutely never going to regret it. We don't get people come back and go, I wish I would have never done that. It's always, I wish I would have done more.
Right.
So
when someone walks into a Claman Custom Home, what should they feel immediately and why?
Well, feel is a different word, but I think they're going to notice the quality, the livability. And I always say that we are known for our practicality of a home and the elegance of it. We try to build elegant and practical homes. There's ways to make things, overdo things over the top, but that's not reality. That's a pure custom. If that's what they want, we can do that. But if it's an everyday home, I focus on practicality and livability and then quality, which is probably at the top. I'm always thinking of quality built home, something they can think of and last for a long time.
So when someone walks into your home, they're going to immediately feel like home.
At home.
Perfect. So what do you think the biggest misconception is when someone thinks it's easy to build a truly custom home?
Oh boy, it is. People think, I just thought of this yesterday that I've been having some conversations with people, and do you realize that throughout a home that there is probably 3,000 to 5,000 hands that go into touching every part of your home? And what I mean by that is making light switch covers, The flooring that gets made, the backing on the flooring is made by another company. The paint gets made. Like, everybody has a different piece of it. Everybody thinks a home is just easy. Well, the ones that are doing it easy they're just pushing out a product, and it's not.
You notice it.
You notice it. I'm not saying it's cheap. It's just you're going to notice those differences. What we do at Claman, we manage the little things and that make big differences. The quality of products, the quality of my subs. The quality of my subs are top notch. Yeah, they cost more, but that's what you're paying for. You're paying for a quality product to be produced, and that's what we're doing because we're producing this product. It's not down Costco aisle 23 and you pick it up and move it here. We have to produce and make it.
So I look at, when I talk to my clients about building a custom home, this is my opinion, we have two different avenues we can go down. If you're trying to get something that's affordable, price per square foot, you're going to one of those builders who's not walking through the home and they're not managing the quality down to the detail because they have people they're paying to do that. Now, when it comes to, like, if you might spend a little bit more money, but if you're going to work with a builder that's going to be on job sites and manage those little things, you said, the light switch is touched by someone completely somewhere else. Well, a mass producing builder, someone who's doing a price per square foot, may not notice a defect like that. But when you work with a builder whose name is on the building company that's walking through the homes, you're going to notice those kind of things, right?
Absolutely. We're not perfect, and we make mistakes too, but we are looking, we have checklists of all that. Like, we set ourselves at a higher standard than most, and that's just an internal standard that I want to provide because I think it's the right thing to do. Doesn't mean we're bad. I mean, yes, I believe we're better, but we're not arrogant. We're very confident in what we do. And we try really hard at it.
So if there is one standard that you absolutely will not compromise with, something that you say, sorry, I'm not going to change that just to make something easier or cheaper, what would that one compromise, or what would that one thing be?
I would probably there's a lot of things in the home that we put to higher standards, but the one thing that stands out the most is the quality of a lot of our subs. A lot of my subs have been with me for 20 years. Not all of them, but some of them, when they don't meet a high enough standard, I look for a different one that will. So I think that standard for me never changes. They know I hate when they say, well, I did that. I don't care what you did over here. This is how you're going to do it, or you don't work for us. Yeah. Because that's what I expect from them, and then what a consumer should expect from us.
So it sounds to me like your number one non-negotiable is cutting corners.
Yes, I'm not cutting corners.
So when you meet a homeowner for the first time and they're extremely stressed out about building a home, what do you think that common fear, that common stressor is to that buyer?
That's easy, the process. They don't know where to go, what to start, how to go about it. They're like, we just know we want a new home, but we don't know how to go about it. How do we get here? Real estate agents, the realtors, you're bringing it to us going, this is great. But they're just frazzled from beyond belief. And for us, it's easy to take that fear away and the uneasiness because we have a great team with a great process in place. Now, it is as easy as they want to make it by providing information, but our goal is to dig and dig and dig. Sometimes they go quick, sometimes it takes long. That's okay. This is the biggest investment. This is the biggest investment any homeowner is going to probably make, or not homeowner, any individual is going to make in their lifetime is a home. You shouldn't be taking it lightly. If you can't build today because of your budget, you should probably wait. I mean, I'm not saying you got to build with me, but don't just buy a home to buy a home.
Right. Yeah, so, buyers today, they come to us as real estate agents, and they're like, we don't know if we want to build. There's a lot to it. I don't know if I want to do that. But if you get the right builder, which sounds like you guys have the processes in place, you make that part a lot easier for them and a lot more manageable, and it's not quite as bad as they might think.
It is absolutely not as bad as they think. And I believe that's why custom building, I believe, is escalating so much, because they can finally have input in a home for not a lot more money.
So when you got a custom home going, right, things are going along, then all of a sudden it starts to go sideways. What are some of those warning signs? Do you see those a little bit earlier? Can you recognize some of those coming? What are the things that make the home building process go sideways?
Them drinking a lot. No, I would me drinking a lot. No, what I think that is an absolute great question. And what's amazing, and I've talked to my team about it, because we're always trying to improve, be better. Our process doesn't change from if you built a home with me, the next person, 10 people build a home, we use the same process. So why is it maybe go sideways with somebody? They don't follow our process, and they want to step outside the ropes and think they're either helping or two doing it better. So if they will allow and trust, and that is probably the biggest word in it, is trust. They can't trust. It's hard to trust a builder. And I tell them right in the beginning, if you don't feel like you can trust me, you need to leave now, because it will be a bad thing for them, whether it's me or anybody. You have to have this good relationship. And it's a relationship. They got to have trust in what you're doing. If you do not, that's where it's probably going to go sideways. You've already started on the wrong foot.
Yeah, you got to tear down that wall and say, all right, I'm trusting you to build this home, and from this point on, I'm going to take what you tell me, take your advice, and do as you want, because really that does make a huge difference.
It's probably the game changer that I notice is breaking down trust with individuals, and it's probably the same thing as a realtor. They're trusting you that you're not going to just sell them a home to sell a home. And I know how you are too. It's that way. This is a relationship. It's not just a transaction.
I've had during new construction site jobs, I've had buyers call me and say, they put this board right across the living room, and I'm like, take a deep breath. That board's just holding the wall up until they put the trusses on.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to. I tell people the more you stay out of the home, the happier you'll be, but
yes,
you got to trust that the builder's doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
So a lot of times you hear the price per square foot argument, like this builder is this price per square foot and this one's this one. What are some of the things that make that really hard to use as a comparison between builders and actual homes?
So we tend to seem to get it all the time, because production builds are throwing out square foot numbers. And they always go, what's your square foot price? Well, I go, I don't have one, because we never seem to build the same home twice. So how in the world can I ever throw out a square foot number when I don't even know, what they're looking for? They can pick the top of the line tile, the top of the line trim, down to the very basic. So that square footage number is going to change. I would recommend when people are looking at a custom home, they need to understand, we can give them a range of where they're going to be, right, but I can't just throw out no. If that custom builder does that, you're going to ask for a lot of change orders that you didn't want.
Yeah, and then you're going to push that number right back up.
Exactly, it'll be right there anyway, because they're just not being honest with you. Yeah. That's numbers don't lie. I mean, they really don't.
Yep. So what's a mistake that a buyer might make before they ever even hire a builder?
The number one thing I see is they think they're saving money or doing things and run out and buy a lot. Location and lot should never be done until you are working with a builder, unless you have a family farm or there's a unique situation. They get out, they purchase things, and they don't even know if it's a buildable lot for what they've wanted or said. And now I've had multiple times they're stuck with a lot, and I go, well, that will not work. Well, why not? The developer told me it would. Well, the developer wants to sell you a lot. That doesn't mean you're building and I'm not knocking the developer, but it's the honest to God truth. Before you ever buy a lot, you should work with a builder to be able to go out and say, here's what I want to do. Is this possible? It's the biggest expensive mistake I see they make every time.
I can't tell you how many times someone buys a lot and then they call me back up and say they want to sell the lot and they never built on it. Happens a lot.
It's because they weren't prepared before they purchased the lot.
Exactly. When someone chooses Claman Custom Homes, what do you do to bring clarity to your client?
The clarity really comes, I guess, with wanting to introduce them to my team, and then we deep dive into what's important to them. This isn't about us. We tell them our process. They always ask about our process. It basically starts with a lot of questions, and I laugh now because I'm going to call it, my team laughs at me all the time, as I call selecting your builders like dating. And I always look at the women, because I got picked last a lot when dating. But when they go to the women want to date a guy, they're like, okay, I think I like him, or, but your gut's always kind of telling you, that guy, he's probably a bad boy, I should stay away, but they sometimes still go, or whatever the reason be. This is really no different. You should interview builders, and if they feel good about that builder, that person, that's probably not a bad thing. So I know that's kind of off a track, but we talk about our processes and everything else, but it's like the first step is really making sure we can relate and work together, because it's a big deal.
During the planning phase, what do you do to help protect the homeowners later?
So I'm a little different with this during the planning stage, and I call the planning stage drawing plans, because we custom draw every plan. So I like to, I'll get their ideas, and I'll keep drawing, and then I go back and forth with my architect like 4 or 5 times, then I'll give them a drawing. When I give them the drawing, sometimes I know some things are a little wrong, but I'll let them lead themselves a little bit, because I can adhere to what they're trying to explain that they can't explain. And then once they're like, yeah, we think we love it, then I go in and go, okay, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? And then I start kind of picking the things that I think are pinch points and struggle areas that will hang them up when they build their home. And I have a rule. I'll tell you twice why you shouldn't do it. The third time it's yours. If you want a window crooked in the house, I'll tell you twice why you should not put it that way. Third time, as long as it's not against code, I'll build it that way.
Got it. So you've mastered the skill of listening. You listen first, you let them get it out. That way you can understand exactly what they want.
Laughing, Tim, I have in business, not with my wife.
Yeah, makes sense. So why do you put so much emphasis on details before construction even begins?
That probably should speak for itself, but if we get all the questions and stuff answered up front, the build goes so smoothly. It's when you get in a hurry and rush to a build, I got to get going. I'd rather pull the reins back, slow down, get everything fine-tuned. I keep asking questions, because I've actually had it where people don't know, and then they make that decision. Those are the ones they regret the most later. So sometimes it's even taking a year to build, or 2 years to plan. Whatever it takes, we're here for them. Every individual's different.
Yeah, so by pulling the reins back, sometimes, it makes it more difficult to reach deadlines. What do you do differently to reach those deadlines?
We can tell them hitting deadlines is a challenge, but it's what we're very good at. Is we might seem pushy about getting an answer, but it's the other hand, the back part of that is we want the answer so we can hit your deadline.
Yeah. So how does design and construction work at Claman Custom Homes so the clients don't feel like they're being pulled in 2 different directions?
My team is small but mighty. We have an on-site, or on staff, not on site, she's on site too, but staff designer. She works with the design. I know my strengths, it's not design. Construction and livability of home, they're actually 2 separate things. So the designing of your home, the colors, the choices, what you're wanting to see, which does flow over into the livability, not so much the constructability. Actually, the biggest person I fight with is my designer, because she wants it to look pretty. I want it to be constructed correctly. So to bond those together sometimes is an argument that people never see, because we're like, you can't do that because that doesn't work here, or that can't work in this situation, or whatever. And that's what I think is challenging, is everybody wants a certain design, but design and the way you construct things don't always align. But we communicate a lot, and with the customer, of why. I'm not going to pull punches. I'm a very direct person. I tell them, this is why. If you don't like it, that's sorry, but this is the way it's got to be. I'm not a yes person.
So it sounds like to keep them from being pulled in different directions, you go behind the scenes with your designer and you guys figure it out together. That way the client doesn't have to worry about it.
We try. And I try to win a lot of that, but it's tough.
It's tough. If you had to describe your process in 3 simple steps, if you even can, what are they?
PPP. Plan, prepare, with purpose.
Got it. That's pretty simple. So what does transparency look like at Claman Custom Homes on a week-to-week basis during the build?
Melissa is project coordinator where she is very communicated with each individual with emails. We have our job site superintendent that's on the jobs every day. He's taking pictures. We put them onto a construction software program, which the customers get to log on to. They get to see their pictures, whether it's every day. If it's during drywall, there's no reason to take a picture of drywall every day, but they get to see those pictures. We are so very transparent more than others because we're not out to hide anything. We're not hiding our process. We're not hiding our build. We want them to enjoy and love this process. Building homes is fun, Tim. You know this or you wouldn't be in real estate. Yeah. It's a great experience.
So what are some of the areas of a home that you don't really realize up front, but over time that show the true quality in a construction?
Very good. I think it's a lot of the little steps. There's things we try to like subfloor. Like I use a different higher end subfloor product that you can't control water. It can rain. That subfloor can have water stand on it for 90 days. It's not to warp it or delaminate or anything. There's other products that are out being used. Those are they're gonna notice those over time. When you move into the house for your first year, you're probably not gonna notice. 5-10 years down the road, those are gonna start to fail. There's the different, woods. I mean, there's just different products where you can, and installation things that we're doing at a little higher level that is you're not going to notice them with problems as much down the road. Our callbacks are every builder is going to have a callback. We have callbacks too, but they're very limited. I mean, for the most part. I mean, which is, I think says a lot about it's not just me, it's just about the team we've put together to build the home.
So from a realtor's perspective, a Claman Custom Home is probably going to resale better down the road.
They tend to, yes, have done so very well.
When you're working with trade partners and subs, how do you set the standard so that your finished product is different from other builders?
The standard's been set with the quality we expect. Like a lot of them, I built it years ago with the quality portion of it. With different subs. We were doing this, our miters on our trim, we're gluing everything, they're nailing everything, they're finding studs, they're spending extra time. But the truth of the matter is, quality subs and trade partners aren't the cheapest. If you're wanting a quality home, you think about it, it's not going to be they're not going to be the cheapest. Correct. They're not. And that I think is what is different, is when you come to, I'm not like, there's a house for each individual because everybody has a different budget. But it's like, when you get to this quality, I can tell you, find a quality builder, you'll be way happier, even if you get a little less home. It's a great investment for you to protect.
So throughout the build, how do you recognize the quality, or how do you make sure that quality's there, and how do you make sure that at the end that quality is there?
As recognized, I think one thing is we have people on the job site every single day, and they're not just driving the truck and looking out the window. I've seen that, and they drive by. We get out, we're engaged, I hate to say this word, but we adult babysit everybody. We really do. I mean, we are managing, and we're working with our subs to make sure that is what we do every day. To this higher standard. They know the standards. We've printed them off and labeled them to them. I do it with each. I don't do it on a blanket. I do it with each sub. Here's your standard. Here's what I expect. I mean, I was on a job yesterday. The plumber goes, "Hey, this 4-inch pipe's going to stick out. We need to." I goes, "I could cover it up, but it's not the right thing to do. You're going to have to fur it out." "Yeah, we're going to fur out the wall." And then he goes, "But it's going to screw up your opening." So now I go, "Yes, the plumbers are letting me be aware of it." That's being ahead of it. That's something I'm being honest. I might or might not caught, but my subcontractor caught it because he knows I'm building at a higher level.
Because you pick the subcontractors that might cost a little bit more, but they're better and they can see it.
Exactly.
So as a builder, how often do your boots touch the ground on job sites?
I used to be on them all day, but now there's so much other stuff behind the scenes, but I'm still on them at least once a week or more.
So you actually visit the houses. So when you go through each one of these homes and you see something, the subs know, hey, he's going to be here, so we need to make sure it's right.
Yes. And a lot of times it's before or after hours. So yes.
Right. Good. Integrity is a very important word. And integrity is what are you doing behind the scenes? I got one of my favorite podcasters is Cameron Haynes, and he says, what you do in the dark matters. So what types of things do you do to make sure that you maintain the integrity of Claman Homes?
I recently had a guy go, would you be okay with bringing this builder in to look at your stuff? I said, absolutely, because I'm better than them. My integrity is I'm not afraid of anything that we do or what we do. I hate to use to say that I'm humble, but I know we're not perfect. Yeah. I mean, a home is so many moving pieces and parts. I'm not going to say we don't mess up, but I will goddamn own it and I will make it right. Yeah. I mean, my name is all I got left in this world that I've tried to make. I mean, it means a lot. Why do you think I put my own name on my own sign? Because I'm not afraid to say, that's Jeff Claman, or go into the bar or the restaurant or whatever you want to say, that's my builder. I mean, I've built a lot of homes for people 2 and 3 times. I'm not afraid to build right next to them. Yep. I'm not afraid to not build in a development. I'm not afraid because I'm not hiding anything.
Yep. I think that's really important. I think having a builder, like your name is on the sign, and if you're not walking through those homes and you're not making sure that they're the right home, then that's your name. Yeah. And some of those builders, they don't. So.
And I'm not saying they're trying to hide behind, but I'm just saying for me and my integrity, it's just to look. I don't want to drive down that street because I don't want to see them outside. That's to me is I don't want that integrity. I want up here.
Yeah. Got it. So when you're looking at different kinds of clients, because you build for all sorts of different ones, which clients thrive the most when building with Claman?
The ones that thrive the most that are honestly, we get some people that they're in there and they're playing poker with me. Yeah. Our budget's 400. Well, and then they really have 700. Yeah. Well, then I can't really. It ends up being.
I can't help you.
I can't help me help you. Right. So I think the ones that come in with realistic budgets that are being real, we're not out to take more money from them. Well, it's like I want to give them more. Like, okay, if that's your budget, I can do you a great job. Or okay, we're going to have to work around some things to get you in your home. You're going to have to make some concessions or, dial back some things. But I will never dial back quality or structure that's something that would hurt the build later. I always try to think through future deals. But the thing I would say is it is the budget. It's if the ones that have very least problem also is budget and also knowing exactly what they want. There's some people that will give me a list. I'm like, bing, bing, bing. Boy, it goes so smooth. I'm not saying everybody has to be that way, but they've thought about the process and dove into it deep for themselves.
Yeah, so those go the smoothest. Yeah. But you guys take the people who have all the questions and aren't really sure what's going on and they're nervous about it. You can also help them get to that point to where like, here, okay, now we know what you want. Now we can move forward.
Yeah, and that's honestly the ones that are prepared are so easy. It's not even. I'm going to start naming myself Captain Chaos because I think I love it so much that I love that they're like I thrive on that. You don't know it. Okay, I want to help you know it. If you want to build a home, let's figure it out. Yeah. That's what I love.
For sure. So if I were to ask you, who is this process not for?
I don't think it's not for anybody. It's for anybody. I've always said I will build. I don't care about the number. I get it asked all the time. They come in, well, we don't. They see big homes we build, and they're like, you probably wouldn't build for us. I go, yeah, I will. I go, this is going to sound crazy. I build. I'm not maybe everybody's cup of tea, and I've told people we're not a good fit, and I won't build for them. Yeah. I don't look at the house, the dollar. It's not about the money. I love what I do. I want to work with good people that want a quality built home and are willing, that just want to enjoy this process. Yeah. It's more about the people for me than it is the build.
I completely understand that. So when tensions get really high and it gets, there's some difficulties, there's some things that you need to settle. What role do you take in that?
Well, I get the boxing gloves out. It happens a lot. And here's the truth and reality of it. This is a very emotional process. And I do not take it personal. I actually expect it 2 to 3 times a build, because sometimes like they take it so personally and so emotional, it's hard for them not to. It isn't that sometimes they're like, you don't act like you care. No, it's not that I don't care. It's at this point in time in your build, you're getting emotional on something that we're not there yet.
Yeah.
I mean, things can be changed. It's like the thing where I come is slowing down, talking to them, and explaining what the problem is, or answering their question. It's just communication.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've had clients go into a new build and they're freaking out, and it's like, I promise you, the builder probably already knows about it and they're probably already working on it, but I'll make the call. I make the call and they're like, oh yeah, we've already got this set up and this set up. So walking through that home throughout the process can create that stress.
Exactly.
Because they don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of times it's like making an omelet. If you think about it, you break an egg, you get eggs in there, you get some ham, you get the plastic on there, you put some cheese in there, and maybe it was wrong. But at the end, you pick it all out. Well, it's not a very good analogy, but you pick it all out, and here you get a nice omelet.
Yeah, it works out fine.
It works out all good, and the salsa's there, sour cream. It looks good. Right. It's really just sometimes the process is messy, and it's not attractive, and it's not sexy. But at the end, I promise you, it'll be a beautiful home.
So you have a client. They're starting to get fatigued from all the decisions they have to make. How do you protect those clients from making a costly mistake?
So we've kind of perfected that a little bit. I wouldn't say perfected it, but we've tried. With the design, Aaron as a designer has said, we limit decisions to not, like, a lot of people go in, they want to knock them all out in one day. That's the biggest mistake you could ever make in my mind. A lot of times people's time is valuable, and we understand that. We're like, what do you feel like you can handle? We also kind of can feel, if they get overwhelmed easy, we do not push them all into a decision all day. They will be so overwhelmed, so emotional, and we'll have to redesign again anyway, which is fine if they want to keep coming back, do whatever, we want to make it right. But the real key to it is the design process is even customized. We don't have a process. We have the process of don't overload them. Yeah. You know, what can we, Aaron's always asking, what's your schedule? Well, what can we do? Can you do a day here for countertops? We need a whole day for countertops? Well, maybe not, but it depends on the individual.
The tortoise and the hare, slow and steady wins the race.
Exactly. Not fast and out of control.
Got it. When you get to the end of construction, what does its success look like for the client? Success
to me is when they come in and they're really like, this is better than we ever can imagine. We get tears, we get crying, hugging. Like when we get into those final walkthroughs, when after we've blue taped everything a couple times and go through, and they come in, and it's like, we try to kind of keep them out a little bit purposely, because it's kind of like a big unravel, revealing of what's going on. And that is a good feeling that I don't think ever gets old. Good. Is that like, this is better than I could ever imagine.
Yeah, that's awesome. So after a client closes on their house, they move into it, how do you want them to explain it to their friends and family?
I don't know how I want them to. I know how they're gonna say. They're gonna say, Melissa, Aaron, Bryce were all outstanding. Jeff's just a jackass. He's direct. He's forward. But he got it done. But he goes, I tell everybody, if you want to sugarcoat it, don't ask me. I'm going to tell you point blank, because I believe you are deserving the right to know what goes on. Yep. And the truth of the matter. It's too short in this life to live that. But at the end of the day, I really believe our clients love the process, love the team of people I got, and they absolutely love the end product.
Well, I can give a testimony to that. I texted a client of mine yesterday, and I was like, hey, how did it end up? And he said, pretty good. He's like, it wasn't a custom home, it was a spec home, but we had one little issue that popped up, and Jeff came over and he made it right. And he goes, I was actually surprised that he came himself. That spoke a lot for the company. And he goes, oh yeah, and Melissa, she was amazing.
Which is, I'm so sick of hearing how great she is. It's terrible.
So what happens when a client wants to build without a strong plan and clear standards?
They can go down the road. because I'm not going to let that happen, because it's just setting them and me up for disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, quite honestly, that's not a good fit. If they have a sub level, or they have a higher standards but a budget that doesn't do it, and they have a plan that's piss poor, that is just going to ask for problems, and then they want to act like the builder, then I'm okay. Like, then you go be your builder. Yeah. But that's not for us.
Understand that completely. So let's get in the time capsule and go 20 years from now. What do you want your homes 20 years from now to represent? What do you want them to look like?
I would love to see strength, stability, and it's going to sound weird, but kind of still that love's there, because in a home, there's a lot of love in the home, and that's where your families are. It's where you spend time with your family. So I hope they still can represent that, and that they know that that's all still there.
So do you want the quality to still sit there 20 years from now?
Oh, absolutely.
Makes total sense. So Claman Custom Homes, what does your name on a home mean to you?
That I get to live my dream. My mom, and I remember this to this day, I was 8 years old. I rode my bike down in a little town we lived in, I grew up in. I sat all day watching a home be constructed for 2 weeks straight. And in high school, they asked me, what did I see myself doing after I graduated high school? And I said, building homes in Colorado. I'm not in Colorado, but I'm doing what I always wanted to do. So to be able to see my name on a sign is a sense of pride that I've probably getting a little emotional about it, but I get to do what I love doing every day. This isn't work. Mm-hmm. This is absolutely not work. This is absolutely, I mean, there's days that I like, it's worse than work, but it doesn't matter. It's still worth it. I love building homes. I love to be able to bring it to the public, the people that truly want it. It's hard to say no. And my team knows I hate saying no, but sometimes it's like we're not a good fit.
It's really a dream come true.
Yeah. I just love love to know that my grandpa was a carpenter. I think he would be like, oh my God, my grandson was able to build homes. So seeing my name on signs is something special.
That's awesome. This might sound like a silly question, but if someone in central Iowa is looking to build a home, what is the first thing that they should do? Call you.
You can get them in Shive Realty team right here. Yeah. I mean, I'll say, if you're central Iowa, you really should work with it. I mean, that's honest God truth. You can call the builders, but the realtor's going to show you locate. They're going to ask a lot of questions that I understand real estate, but like we've talked, like they can get actually more from a good realtor, and they can actually get the wrong questions from the wrong realtor. Yeah. And it's a real thing. It really is a big thing. And I'd love everybody to call me, but the reality is you really should get through a realtor and ask questions that they need to answer, where they want to live, things that you can answer quicker than I can. Hey, you want to be in this area? Hey, I know this lot, this location, all this. Those are things, that's where they need to start. Yeah, so earlier you said you need to have the people that have the smoothest transaction or the smoothest build, or the people who have a direction. They know where they're going. And we myself been doing it for 2 decades. We know the questions to ask to build that, so that when you get to the builder, you have that clarity and you can make the process a lot easier. Absolutely. If you're looking to build in central Iowa, give us a call. We'll go through the process with you, walk you through the whole thing. And first, make sure that's what you want to do. And then second, we'll get you set up with the builder. I appreciate you sticking around for this whole video. We are going to be posting a lot more videos of Claman Homes, so you're going to see some beautiful product out there. So make sure you subscribe to us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.